Now with the whole playlist era, people don't want to get out information that I need to know. They want that handout. Yo, tell me, tell me, tell me. Like, I can't tell you how to make $1 million. I mean, I could, but why? At the end of the day, all I'm doing is creating competition that I don't want. If you want to be my competition, you got to actually be worth the competition.
But
Go out
competition
there
is
and
good
seek
though.
the answer. Competition is always good for market. Isn't necessarily always good for the competition, but it's always good for the market.
I hear you, buddy. I hear you. I hear you. All right. So we are live now. Let me make sure the sound is coming in. Maybe mic check.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hold on. Give me a second.
Mm-hmm. Oh, my new generated by the prior works. It's not right. Let me see. Until concerns only the publishing rights
Oh
for
yeah,
the
we good, man.
existence of. So yeah.
We good. We good. We good. Yo, what's good? It's your man Hans. Let's go ahead and start sharing stuff, man. Let's go ahead and get that going. I'm not gonna play any music because the last time I did that, this thing freaked out, and I am not about to deal with that. So let's go ahead and get set up, man. Theo, what's the deal, Playboy?
Yeah, man.
What's the deal?
Oh,
We bike.
oh,
We back. Oh, I'm gonna need you, sir. I'm gonna need you to turn your camera on, sir. No one can see you.
oh, I'm sorry. This whole Zoom thing is wild.
Yeah, man. What you doing, bro? What you doing, man? All right,
So
let's see.
1,000 apologies, thousands of apologies.
Mm-hmm. All right, y'all. Give me a second. Y'all know how this goes. Y'all been here before. I'm not showing you anything you haven't seen before. Yeah, I be trying to figure stuff out. Let me get this chat going. Yeah, man. So today we're gonna talk about some stuff that I've been meaning to touch base on. Get this down here. Give me a second. Give me a second, man. Give me a second. Give me a second.
Yeah, man.
You know. All right. You good, Theo?
Almost definitely good.
All right, cool. Y'all know how this goes. All right. All right. Let me pull up. Hello, I thought I had. And pull this one up right here. All right. What's going on, everybody? It's your man Hans Nobi. This is the 20th, believe it or not, 20th episode of Capitalism and Art. We did it. We're not a broke, horrible podcast. We actually did something, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you the link so you can see the exact one I'm looking at from Rolling Stone, just in case we got a reference.
Got you. Let's see. We got anyone in the chat? We good here. All right. So we good, man. We set up. Y'all know what it is, man. I just want to thank everybody for watching the replay. If you join us here in a couple of minutes, we definitely appreciate it. But yeah, man. So today we're going to talk about a few things. But before we do, appreciate it. I got it. But before we do, Theo, how was your week? How's your week going?
Man, my week is amazing, man. Everything is blessed. You know what I'm saying? Classes is going real smooth. Kids is doing amazing. I'm just blessed. You know what I'm saying? I woke up on this side of the earth.
Ah,
You know what I'm
man.
saying? As they say, you could have not woke up this morning. So I'm truly blessed.
I just
No
got
questions asked.
this dude about to hit us with the yo.
Nah, man. As they say, I ain't about to indoctrinate nobody on the lie.
Grand Rosin, everybody. Grand Rosin.
Man,
That's what's
I'm just
up.
happy to be here.
That's it. All right, cool. So, for me, I am happy. We're here at episode number 20 for Capitalism and Art. I just found out. Actually, so I didn't find out that this was considered a video podcast until. So I flew to Dallas. What was that? I flew to Dallas. Man, was that 2 Friday? Yeah, that'd be 2 Fridays ago.
Mm.
And Jason Bernthal is actually doing a video podcast as well. Where all the content is gonna be on. Excuse me, gonna be on YouTube. And I was like, oh, it's kind of dope. You know, if that's what this is and that's what this qualifies for, then cool. You know,
Mm.
I'm definitely happy about that. But yeah, so got a podcast, and my week's been it's been good. But I've been putting out some fires, man. 2022 has already been
It's crazy.
it's been a learning experience. I can say that.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Knowledge will get you everywhere.
Yeah, but you know, it's all good. And shout out to everybody that follows me on Twitter. You guys gave me some. I didn't know that many people were actually paying attention to my content because you know you look at
Hmm.
the stats and everything else
The
and the data.
numbers.
You're like, all right, cool, and then you see like people retweeting, sharing, and then people
Right.
are commenting. Like people in my DMs, like, "Yo, I just checked out the metadata episode." And I was like, "Oh, okay, so this actually it's actually doing something." So that means a
Right.
lot. So everyone, if you watch this in a replay, thank you. I'm glad I make something you guys like because apparently you guys don't like my beats on BeatStars because apparently y'all just can't find them. But you know we here. All right, so we got a couple things we're gonna get into. So I guess we can start with this Bob Dylan Sony deal because me and you both of our eyes popped out of our head when we saw the numbers. I mean, nothing else to say. Bob Dylan is about to be a billionaire from just his catalog, apparently, because he's clocking at what 300 to 400 million dollars for his catalog. So,
Yeah. I mean, it's wild stuff being in his situation. I mean, as we were talking before, a lot of legacy artists are doing this in the midst of the pandemic as a way to get a cash out. I mean, I guess you say one aspect of it, people will say, well, how is his music spinning? You know what I'm saying? Considering we're in a whole different generation who may or may not be aware of his music.
yeah,
At the same time, we also have to say, okay, well, if his music, hypothetically speaking, I don't want nobody to cancel me and be like, oh, Bob Dylan's doing great on Spotify. Hypothetically speaking, if people aren't necessarily pulling him in streaming services, this could be the best possible move, just in regards to saying, hey, I'm gonna pull a cash grab, but at the same time, I know my legacy's still gonna exist because he sold it back to the label. So they're definitely not gonna sit on it. It's just a matter of what they're gonna do with it. I mean, you figure what they talking about Universal versus Sony because there was two components and two separate deals in this instance. So
so
you're talking about a whole. Go ahead.
no, I was gonna ask. You asked a good question, like what they're gonna do with it. What are they doing it? Like what? That's the $1 billion question. So if you guys been following this story for like a while, I forgot. Hold on, let me look it up. There's a billionaire in like Germany or somebody like buying people's catalog. Let's see.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Billionaire
corporations doing that right now.
buying music catalogs. Hold on, y'all can't even see that. Give me a second. Hold on. Let me. Cause I know you. This is like Theo's face is right there. Give me a second. Let me move this. Move you here.
Yeah, man. What people got to understand is you have a lot of major corporations and a lot of people just in general who have extra cash who are buying these catalogs because it's assets. It's no different than buying art. It's going to basically appreciate over time,
Yeah, this guy.
especially when you consider. Uh-huh.
No. Go ahead. Go ahead. We'll get it. We'll get into this guy. We'll get into the
Yeah,
Illuminati. It's funny. I no. We'll dive into that. I like I said. I come to this podcast to educate,
ready.
but to also get my shit off because like I'm tired of this. But come on.
No, I feel you. No, I mean it's in the same thing as art. You know what I'm saying? You buy art in the value that it's going to appreciate over time. The same principle aspects with music. You know what I'm saying? You deal with an artist. You can say in the instance of how people are going to spin that music, it'll rise and it'll fall. But timeless music is just that. Something that may not necessarily play with a hiatus. Let's say 2 3 years. People are like, yeah, I haven't really listened to it. All of a sudden, there's a resurgence. You own that catalog. You own the finances that are going to come with that resurgence. Just a matter of time. TikTok has proved that. We've heard everything from Genuine back to records from the 50s that blew up in challenges.
Okay, so
So,
we gotta touch base on that. Um, I'm not anti-industry. I can't be because you see what's
right,
like.
right, right.
If I was anti-industry, I wouldn't have this thing behind me. So in fact, me putting this like in the shot is like super industry. So I can't talk. You know, I can't talk too bad. But what I do want to say is, um, do people know that doesn't happen? There's no such thing as a viral song. Like people have come out all over and said like there's no such thing like Lil Duval. There was a guy that Interscope hired to make memes on purpose that will drive traffic to like certain songs. Like, is it possible that people still think that there's such things as songs have virality? Like, is that still a thing?
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's definitely a thing. People are going to still believe the concept behind it because we've been conditioned. So if you think about it, this if 2 million people around the world come out and say this particular word, say this particular action is happening, that's what you're going to be conditioned to believe once you keep hearing it on a level of repetition. It's no different than what we did with radio.
I
Hey, you
could
want a
really,
hit record?
I could get into that whole
Boom.
conditioning thing, man. But yeah.
Yeah, man, you play a song, what they say, psychologically speaking, from a radio standpoint, a person will hear a song 7 times before they actually become actionable about the record. That's on an average. That's not saying for someone who actually liked the song within the first 2 times they heard it. It's literally just saying, on average, a person could hear a song between 1 and 7 times before they legit be like, yeah, let me download that. Let me discover this artist, provided they even do that. It could just be, I like this song. You know what I'm saying? But the behavior behind the whole concept of virality just simply said, oh, yeah, this song came out, had a little luck, it was hot, took off. It's like, no, no, it doesn't necessarily work like that. There's a lot of mechanics behind that,
I
but
tr-
people don't want to care about that.
I try to be very cautious with my words because, and we have to be, because we're at that level where we have to be. What's common knowledge to us will blow people's minds. Like
Oh,
we're
most
like
definitely.
we're like past like the first 3 doors of Area 51. Like we know who's really pulling the strings and why certain deals don't go through. Like we're in it. So I have to be cautious with my words, but um it just I'm just curious if people know, like, 9 times out of 10 whatever's put in front of you didn't get there by accident. And so
Hmm.
like again, like I said, my wife and I, we were going to no, we were coming back from sorry, we were in the Bronx. So all right,
Hmm.
so, okay, you're from New York, so you can answer this for me. Okay, I really have to get into this. Why is the dividing line for Harlem and the Bronx 155th? I feel like that cheats people so bad because one of my homegirls, well, or really one of my wife's friends, she lives in 156. She's like literally like that. She's like in Bronx County, and she's literally that far away from being considered Harlem. Why did they do that?
Listen, I'm gonna be all the way 100 with you. I'm from upstate New York, but I
Okay.
would love to find someone from New York City who could just randomly answer that question about why something is, from a geopolitical standpoint, sanctioned like this. You might as well say you looking from somebody who works at City Hall
Cause I was just
because
like,
you weren't. You,
I was like, I'm like, yo, that's trash, fam. Like, I thought once you cross the Bronx River, that was it. You're either in the Bronx or in Harlem, and they were like, nah, you still in the Bronx. I was like, wow, they really hold them boys.
yeah, bro. I got a feeling you're gonna get two answers. You're gonna get the people who live there answer, and then you're gonna mess around running into someone who actually works in that capacity, and they'll tell you what's really going on.
Yeah, that was kind of sad but funny to me at the same time. I was like, dang. But anyway, I thought that was funny, but damn, what was you saying? I just took it down a rabbit hole unnecessarily. What was I talking about? No, what was I talking about?
Oh, we were talking about a virality in
Yeah, yeah,
regards to
yeah.
what actually happens with
Oh,
records and why people think that this thing just blows up out of nowhere.
yeah, nah. Your favorite artist is your favorite artist because someone put marketing dollars and advertising dollars in front of you. Like, so I have a background in advertising, and I remember one of the deals I was working on was for I think it was called Spoiler 42. Basically, it was like this blog that was on 42nd Street, and they would tell you like the news, hottest things, like, yo, check out the dude restaurant at Hell's Kitchen, this, that, and the third. And the thing that how they were making their money was doing native content. So like, that's interesting. What the heck is native content? And that's when I discovered that there's a thing where basically you can make content look like you're talking about one thing, but it's promoting a company. So for instance,
Mm-hmm.
like native content, let's say for NBA YoungBoy, native content, this is extreme. Native content can be like, find these fresh new brand new resorts in Utah where you can sit up and relax your feet. NBA YoungBoy found one when he was on house arrest and he was able to record his album. But anyway, going back to this resort with this, check out this
Mm-hmm.
nice sandy beach. You just, well, not beach, but nice mountain. And just like, So to the untrained eye, that's just like, oh, that's kind of cool. To us, it's just like, fam, like
Mm-hmm. It's
I
directional conversation.
I see what you're doing. So yeah,
Mm-hmm. And people don't understand that. It's like you can literally. It's so people laugh at me in a lot of cases. And they'll ask me, "Bruh, how do you do this?" I'll literally be because I do a lot with my kids. I literally be having a conversation, and in a moment I see something wrong, I'll instantly switch to them. But by the way it happens, you would think that I was already in that conversation for 10 minutes. Then all of a sudden shift back.
yeah,
It's a behavior you learn between marketing, advertising, and psychology. But people will be stunned behind it because they're like, "Wait a minute, how did you just do that?"
yeah,
It's no different in that sense. When you're basically in, how you can say, in context of one conversation, if let's say you're pitching something, you know what I'm saying? You're letting somebody know, yo, this new record's coming out, yada, 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 yada. Then all of a sudden you flash track to, you fast track to the fact that you see this new car coming up. Yeah, you know, my new record coming out. By the way, that Lamborghini's dope over there. But, you know, single one, da, 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 da. Right then and there, it's no different than, I guess you say, putting out a subliminal message. But in this instance, it's not subliminal because they're directly hearing you. You interjected in the conversation, but the behavior is the same. They don't initially hear what you said about that car. You know what I'm saying? It takes them a second to catch up. Their brain already heard it, but their consciousness is like, wait, 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 wait. Did you say something about a Lamborghini?
yo,
All of a sudden, they're distracted to what you want them to be distracted about.
I need every artist to look up something called native content. I need you to look it up. I need you to for like it's cool for like regular music consumers to just not be aware. That's totally fine. But I need,
Mm-hmm.
you know how we rock. If you over here, we in the business. So if
Got to make it happen.
you gotta, yeah, you need to pay attention to that. But anyway, so yeah, so wanted to touch base on this guy. I can never pronounce the name. Mercure. Yep. So raised hundreds of millions of dollars to buy rights. This is Medium. I need a real article. Hold
Yeah,
on. I need a
I
real
know
article.
exactly what this is. This is when basically a while back when Taylor Swift was trying to buy her masters back at the same time when they did that whole Scooter Braun issue where he sold it again because they were closing out big machines. And she was
Phil.
like, forget it.
Phil. Okay.
I'm gonna
So
just record
all
everything.
right. So I gotta ask your opinion on that one. And this is interesting because I've heard two different sides of the argument. So I was like, yo, that's a good point. On one side, I was listening to this. It was actually two different women on two different sides. So listening to this one
Mm,
chick, I forgot her name, but she was saying that she can actually sue him for torturous practices or something. It's kind of like the same thing Birdman did with Jay Z when he was trying to get Jay Z away from Lil Wayne, signing him to Rockefeller Records. But
mm,
apparently, according to her, she has enough evidence to actually sue Scooter Braun for torturous practices and actually get money enough to like buy her catalog back. I was like, okay, cool. That I guess that makes sense. Now, Wendy Day said something I did not expect Wendy Day to say at all, because she's Miss Independent. If y'all don't know who
mm.
Wendy Day is, look her up. But Wendy Day said something. She said Taylor Swift has no reason to cry about it because she has the money, the influence, and the power and the resources to go buy a catalog. You've had because I didn't even realize. So I didn't even know that the reason why, or one of the reasons why, Kanye got
Mm.
jumped on stage in front of Taylor Swift was Scooter Braun was managing him at the time, him and Justin Bieber. So it's like, oh, I remember there was a Justin Bieber and Taylor Swift beef, and then Kanye did that, and so people were just like, did Kanye do that with Scooter Braun? Which I don't agree with, but
Right.
um, yeah, Wendy Day was like, yo, she could go easily buy her catalog. What's the problem? She had see, I was still in college when that was going on, so this means this deal
Right.
closed with 2017. So that's I graduated 2009. So that's what 8 years she could have bought her catalog back. So it was like, what happened? Like, what do you? I'm just curious to see
No,
someone else's thoughts on that.
I'll be honest with you. Those there's a lot to that circumstance. To just easily say one side or another how it could or couldn't happen. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, obviously, we don't have the insider knowledge in regards to how do you say to counteract what Wendy Day is saying with regards to what she could or couldn't do. I mean, but in all honesty, it's a shiesty situation. I mean, because on one hand, you like, okay, well, why won't you sell her back her masters? And at the other hand, it's like, okay, you have been in this situation for a while dealing with him. What is going on? You know what I'm saying? Like financially, it's excuse me, financially, it's not the issue. I mean, she clearly has the money. There's something else going on circumstantially that's stopping because he clearly sold it somewhere else. Found an offer and said, "Nah, Taylor, I'm sorry. I understand what you're saying, but this ain't about to happen." For one reason or another, her argument was based on the fact of the relationship that they had slash did not have because they had so much of a beef, even between the whole her Justin Bieber situation and Scooter Braun. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Do
like,
you think it's not sorry not to cut you off. I'm trying not to be that guy.
oh, you good?
Do
No,
you
you
th-
good? Good.
do you think the reason why that even started to happen was because Rick Barker left her? Because I've never heard. Well, let me say this, and of course, this is me. This is me from the distance. I don't remember Taylor having any trouble at all when Rick Barker was her manager. But then again, I don't know. Like I'm not there, but I'm wondering if he was the component, if he had the relationship to keep Action, not Action. I keep saying Action Bronson, Scooter Braun. Um, I'm just wondering, like, what made that relationship so sour?
Right.
Cause she
What
helped,
made it
cause
go
she
left?
helped build Big Machine Records. Cause that was her
Right.
like that was their first artist, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I don't remember if it was the first artist, but she definitely was incredibly impactful, especially through those first six albums.
Right. So why are you beefing? So why is there such a beef with like your biggest artist that has your biggest catalog? Is that's where I'm just so confused. Like why are we doing this?
Yeah, I would say don't quote me on this, but if I remember correctly, I believe there were some issues with regards to advancements. You know what I'm saying? I don't mean financially. If I remember what she was saying with regards to their relationship, is that there was some back and forth with regards to how things would happen. But of course, all those things happen in the industry between men and women, from what I remember. But again, don't quote me on
No, no, no. The reason. So all right. So the reason why I always sigh about that. So I've been working with two songwriters closely, Nico and Shannon Hurley, and I didn't start working with women closely in the industry until they came along. I met Shannon at an event. Marco, who runs Marco and Music, who I'm an A&R for, he was like, "Yo, we need placements. Go to some events. Go here." And so I went there, and it was event. It was Live the Biz. Shout out to Walter Tucker, who's now at Apple Music, and
it.
I'm name dropping too much. And I ran into this. I told you, I'm industry. I can't talk about nobody. But um I went there by myself. I didn't feel like going. I went there by myself, and then Shannon just kept like, "Hey, I'm just here to make friends." It's like, all right, cool. And she just go, "Hey, what's your name? What you doing?" And doing that. Then I was like, "Hey, come with me in the studio since you want to do something." And so right around
Right.
that time, I actually met Nico when I was interning, but the next time I met her, the first time I met her, she had pink hair. Then the next time I met her, she had regular hair. I didn't even recognize her. But in working with them and getting some records that we're getting ready to piss a fox, um, just being with them in studio with other guys, you can see how the interaction is just different. It was like
Right.
it was very flirty, and it was just like
Hmm.
fam, we're here to cut a record. What are y'all doing? Like I don't like
Right.
yo do that outside. Like fam, finish the beat. What are we doing? Like she has to cut a vocal.
Right.
Stop. Shut up. And so that just surface level. That just surface. So I can't even imagine what some of the stuff happens with like a powerful producer. We hear these stories. We're not gonna name drop, but we hear these stories about some of these producers
Hmm.
and execs and anything else, man. And just like at some point, like people got to learn how to chill, man. I don't. I never. Actually, I do get it. I'm acting like I don't get it. I have this theory. I believe that a lot of the guys in the industry today were the lamos and the weirdos that liked
Hmm.
music, got into college, had a strong enough work ethic to catch the right attention, and now they got the was it the PPC credit card, and they got
Right.
the name on it, and now all of a sudden like you can't tell them shit, and now it's like This is the way to redeem themselves from not being cool. That's my theory.
Yeah, I mean, to play the other side of the conversation, it's kind of like when you see the Van Wilder movies and stuff like that. It's like you want to basically be that person. Now here's your
Yeah,
opportunity.
yeah. Like
I mean,
you 45 years old. Why are you? I would love to get in the studio with such and such. Like, fam, she's 16. Like, why does this? You can't do this at 2 o'clock in the afternoon with her parents around? Why? Oh, it's
true.
okay.
Now,
No, but anyway.
one other thing I would say is people don't understand that fame is currency and so is power. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah,
like, even if you weren't quote unquote that particular, I guess you could say nature, that walk of life, that lame individual,
yeah,
the fact that you acquired any circumstance that puts you in a position that people see you in theory as a god of your particular position, you know what I'm saying? That gatekeeper complex
yeah,
puts you in a position that you go after other powerful people. It's like being a shark in the ocean. You know what I'm saying? As a shark, you're gonna be like, all right, am I the killer whale situation here, or am I something else? Am I the most powerful shark in this ocean, or am I just another shark? Your ability to say how strong you are is your ability to go take out other powerful people. You know what I'm saying? And basically put them under you. In that same situation, you put them in a position that makes you look like you're much more than what people perceive you to be. So it's like saying, in a case of if you can put a Taylor Swift under you as that stepping stone, and everybody looks at Taylor Swift as the
the
person,
apex.
all of a
Yeah,
sudden you right now you become the, oh my God, he's no longer the predator. He is the whole damn hunt. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? It's like,
yeah.
oh man.
Now that's assuming allegedly. I don't want nobody coming in the comments or
Right.
in my DMs or
Right.
whatever. Like, because I already,
This is assuming, right.
yeah, I've already
All
had like
hypotheticals.
some weird mentions in DMs. Like, you can't say that's like fuck you, whatever. Anyway, it's neither here nor there. But anyway, let's get back to what we were talking about. Okay, so this guy here, okay, now we don't have a picture. All right, so let me go back to the first artist so you at least see who he is. So this guy here, Mercur, Mercer, yeah, this guy. Um, this dude is he. So here's the story. So this guy owns I think like a whole financial institution. Like I think it's worth like billions and billions and billions of dollars, and he just randomly started maybe 2015, 16, just started buying people's catalogs, and he's holding on to them. And so
Mm-hmm.
it's started a lot of conspiracy theories. By the way, okay, I promise we're gonna get this story, but let me just get something off my chest. All right, I hate the new conspiracy theorists. Like I really truly hate. I hate all of you. Every single last. I don't like you. I don't appreciate your opinions. I don't.
Oh man.
I would love for I would love each and every one of you to just shut up just for like forever. Like I would preach, like I hate the new conspiracy theories. You people run with it. You're just as sheepish as the mainstream. I hate all of you.
Yeah,
All right.
very true.
Cause y'all ask no questions, you don't cite any sources. All you do is watch YouTube videos of each other and go, yeah, see,
That's
I
it.
knew. I hate all of you.
That's the
You guys.
one.
So now I can't call myself conspiracy theorist. I call myself a skeptic. If I could, I would bomb the world of you. But anyway, I told you I come on here to rant. But so this
Ain't
guy
nothing wrong with
here,
that.
this was started the conspiracy theory, or this is. So there was a live stream. I think it was with Young Guru and MG the Future.
Mm.
And it was like this long live stream, and like MG the Future is this really dope producer, and Young Guru, you know who Young Guru is, but they were
Mm-hmm.
talking about Guru was saying something that was so profound to me. He said, "Stop saying they have a name. Is it a they?
Mm-hmm.
Is it a who? Is it a him? Is it a her? Is it a corporation?
Identify.
Identify." So the reason why I don't like the new conspiracy theories is that they won't pinpoint who they are. You know that who the hell is they? Are we talking about the
Right.
government? Are we talking about the Fed? Are you talking about the IRS? Who are you talking about MI6? What are we talking about? So conspiracy theorists who don't pay attention to anything, ask any questions, this is they. Okay, this is the guy that's buying all the catalogs of like your favorite. I mean, like not like. And here's the thing. Now Rogers has a company as well that's doing the same thing. Who to me is the greatest music producer of all time because, well, what other music producer you know alive that created a genre of music?
Okay.
I'm gonna let y'all hold that one. But anyway, um, so both of these companies, I think it was KKR. Hold on, let me look this up real quick so I can see now. Rogers, KKR. Yeah, I know I do my research. No, what was it? Business notes to celebrate fundraising. Is it any? Hold on. See, now Rogers buying catalog. Hold on. Buys music catalog. I'm gonna look. I'm gonna get this name right. Is this it? Hypnosis. But it started by KKR, right? Let's see. Oh no, it's founded by the same guy. Never mind. So yeah, they're
There you
both
go.
doing it. So never mind. So anyway, so they just start randomly buying song catalogs, but nobody knows why.
I mean, it's an asset class.
It
I
is,
mean,
but what is the plan? Yo, that's the question. Like,
no.
what's the plan? What are we
So
doing here?
we could never officially know what they're gonna do unless we were the inside track. But I mean, if you think about it this way, think about what labels were able to do with streaming services.
Mm-hmm.
If they're planning ahead with everything going on with the metaverse and how the internet's about to shift, as well as streaming services are clearly not going away. It's just a matter of how they're going to integrate into the new platform known as the metaverse. Them owning music, rather it be saying they own the composition side or saying they own the master recording side, in either circumstance, they're going to always make money, especially if they're buying high end catalogs. If they're buying things they know is going to be put in, let's say, a movie for synchronization, or they know, hey, this is one of those records that's always going to get spent, rather if it's in a history class or if it's for a specific wedding, et cetera, et cetera. If they're buying in that type of circumstance, without question, they're setting themselves up to win in the new world. And people say, what do you mean by the new world? I don't want to create no conspiracy, but considering how we're directionally changing with regard to the metaverse and
Yeah.
everybody's communicating digitally as opposed to traditionally, all they're doing is creating a new market space for themselves going into this transitional field. Think about it this way. We're talking about buying land in the metaverse. We have games in transition right now where you can buy plots. So if we have circumstances like that, imagine what they can do with these musical catalogs bypassing the labels. You know what I'm
So
saying?
so that ties into so I'm glad. So now we're getting into the part of the conversation that I like to get into. Well, let me break this down for people who are watching. I'm trying to say oh, easy. When you were working a part-time job, your first job, whatever, you knew nothing about the world. Only thing you knew is I show up here from this time to this time. I get a paycheck. That's school. Those are my parents. This is a neighborhood, and I'm trying to go cut. That's all you knew of the world. Even if you traveled a little bit, that's all you really knew, right? You graduate college, then you get your first like a real job, right? It may take you 2, 3, or 4 or 5 years, but you finally get like your real job, right? You make a little bit more money. All of a sudden, you see the world a little different, right? You start trying different foods. You're able to get like your first car. You're able to get your first apartment. You know about responsibilities. You finally find out what the hell FICA is because you know you always overlooked it. You pay taxes for the first time. You get in these new experiences, and as you elevate, you start getting exposed to more and more and more information, right? So if you think about that, if so let me ask you this: do you believe someone who makes $30,000 a year and someone who makes $50,000 a year, do you believe there's a little bit of a knowledge gap there?
I mean, between the two, I mean, so that can be looked at two ways. I
Okay.
mean, technically, you could say yes,
Mm-hmm.
there's a difference, and there can be a knowledge gap, but that knowledge gap could be as simple as industry. One could say your level one job versus, let's say, person two's level one job. is non-comparable based on the skill set that you have or require for that industry.
Okay.
One I always like the reference to is nursing. You know what I'm saying? You can go in nursing and potentially make out the gate with a bachelor, actually not even a bachelor's, what they say with an associate,
So
50,000.
so hold that thought. We'll go with the medical field. Who knows more what's happening in the hospital? The janitor or the nurse?
What's happening in the entire hospital?
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna definitely be the janitor. But by floor, it's gonna
No,
be the nurse.
I'm talking about the politics and everything else.
Oh, politics, of course, it's gonna be the nurse.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Who knows more, the nurse or the doctor?
Oh, politics, it's gonna be the nurse.
More than
Now,
the
reason
doctor?
why. So here's gonna be the fun thing about this, and this is where you probably is gonna be a whole lot of interesting stuff in the comments. So circumstantially, you can ask yourself, the nurse is dealing with everything cross board on the floor. Every circumstance you're gonna come across, 9 times out of 10, it's gonna come to a nurse first. Doctors are gonna come in, they're gonna do their thing, and then they're moving to the next situation. Who's always still there when that doctor leaves? Who's getting paged? The nurse or the doctor? In the
Who's
instances
having a
when you guys get the
direct
call back.
conversation with the director of the hospital and the co-founders of the hospital? That's what
I
I'm
know
talking.
that.
That's what I'm talking about. So who knows more, the
Oh,
nurse or
that
the
situation
director?
even becomes a little different.
That's what I'm talking about. What I'm saying is, as you move up, you're getting exposed to more and more information. The director
Most definitely.
knows what's happening all the way down to City Hall, what's happening with the mayor. They have to, because they're trying to manage this big, huge building. So because of that, you're going to be exposed to more information, right? I just want to try to use that
Right.
example, all right? So whether you're the janitor, it's like, oh yeah, you know everything that's the ins and outs of the building, but the nurse and the doctor know about the politics, and there's levels to that, and the director definitely knows what's happening, and then so on and so on and so forth, right? Okay. If you are making $8 billion a year, you're getting exposed to different information. You see where I'm going with this, right?
Most definitely. I'm not gonna lie to you. The funny part about that aspect with regards to being a director, I play devil's advocate. And the reason why I say it is because I'm around quite a few nurses. That's not always the case per conversation, especially just hearing them speak to that field and me working adjacent to that field.
Theo,
Realistically, it's not always the case.
you mean to tell me that the nurse is going to know more about what's happening down at the changes happening in the mayor and governor's office that may affect that entire building more than the director?
Oh no, I'm not saying that the nurse knows more in that
That's
particular
what I'm
instance. I'm just
talking
saying you'll
about.
be surprised.
That the nurse will know more? How? She's not in the meetings.
I'll tell you more.
You need no.
Certain
You need
things
you
I
need to,
can.
you need to drop some, you need to drop some gems in, because that'll make no
No, no, no,
Now
no,
I'm not
no,
talking about the
no, no,
gossip
no.
stuff. I'm talking about the big, like, hey, look, there is a $100 million contract coming down a pipeline.
No, hold on. No, hold on. So I can't play for that point of a market to say that, oh, this nurse such and such, unless nurse such and such will happen to have some relationships, is going to know about that. But going in the direction that you're saying, I can understand exactly what you're trying to say with
Okay.
regards to saying the director is going, well, the director should know X, Y, and Z per their field of expertise, where they are hired in position. I understand where you're going.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. The reason why I'm trying to use that example that you keep trying to butcher is what I'm saying is, fam, if you are making $8 billion a year, you're not talking to the cashier at HEB or Fiesta or Walmart, Target every day. You're not kicking it and like, yo, you want to come get on the sixth? That's not happening. Is what I'm saying.
Unless you Warren Buffett
Unless
popping up at the same Starbucks,
right,
making the same order.
even then. So what I'm saying is, build. You know how they say money attracts money. So
Right.
as you level up, your circle changes. It just common hierarchy stuff. It's just
Right.
basic.
Right.
And it's not even like you're better. It's just that, fam, if you're making $160,000 a year, even as a guy, you're probably not going to try to kick it with a chick that's barely making 30. Like that's a conversation that for this platform I could get on Twitter and get butchered and then get reposted by Shade Room. I'm not doing that. But what I want to say is, these guys have access to information that the rest of us don't. Because
Right.
okay, so I give it to you like this: spatial audio. Me and Marco and Mike Dean knew about spatial audio back in fall 2015 at AES. The reason why we knew that is one, because we had access. So we're around the people, the guy from Japan that made the initial thing where they will play music in front of you and it sounded like it was coming from behind you. That was 2015. That's just a little bit of access. How much information you think these guys have in regards to what's coming down the pipeline? That's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
So that's why everyone is speculating, well, what do they know that the rest of us don't? So it could be the metaverse. I think it's something much bigger. I just don't know what it
Oh,
is.
most definitely. See, that's the trick. There's always something much bigger. It's just a matter of how fast will it be adopted. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you think about it this way, VR has been around for what, over 20 years at this point?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The concept of the technology, but it's the adoption behavior. You know what I'm saying? That's even like with the whole concept of blockchain. Blockchain's been around for a while, but now blockchain is fueling a lot of the technologies that we're utilizing right now. But even in that instance, you don't really hear the term blockchain. You hear cryptocurrency, you hear NFT, you hear metaverse, you hear what they publicly want you to know, because they publicly want you to invest, put your money in these secondary projects that are going to make impacts publicly.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? When it comes to blockchain, it's not to say that it's not a public situation. It's just more so one of those, like you said, you gotta kind of be in the know. What is powering these new technologies? You have to either be in the industry, be with people who are in the industry, or just be hella curious to find out what's going on. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, 9 times out of 10, when we're distracted by what's going on based on what's presented in front of us, we don't necessarily ask what's going on behind us. What's actually saying, if this is making $1 million, we don't go off and say, well, hey, what's actually making 5 million? If they're making 1 million, how can I make 5?
Right.
So if they're making 5, how can I make 10? You know what I'm saying? That's the difference between those people who have that access and the people who want the access.
And you know these guys have access to every data. And in fact, I wouldn't even be surprised if they're co-founding the company that's going to create the product that's going to make them even more money. So that's why, like, because fam, I think L.A. Reid sold his joints for like what, 350 mil. Fam, that's a lot of money for a catalog.
Mm-hmm.
This is and so the reason why everyone is so suspicious is like in regards to Bob Dylan. Now we can kind of tie it in, right? The first thing we want to touch base on. So I don't know if you guys know, Bob Dylan about to be a billionaire from just music. He's about to be the first one to make $1 billion from just music. I think Birdman may have hit that spot. Well, I know he sold 1 billion records, but I don't know if he made $1 billion in total. But anyway, in regards to this, I understand because Bob Dylan has an extensive catalog. But you
I think he said over 600 records.
600 million? What you mean?
Where? Yeah, per the article, you scroll down a little bit, I believe they are referencing the catalog that he actually sold was roughly at 600 records. And that's pre-existing work, not even considering anything new or live performance based.
Or stuff that was never released.
That was everything that he did.
Fam, and that's why I love Bob Dylan in regards to he to me, from what I saw outside of James Brown, because I think they said James Brown had 5,000 records before he passed, which is insane. But yeah, Bob Dylan was one of these ones like nah, he stayed in the studio. But what I want to touch base on with this is, like, to Theo's point, if they're paying $300 million for the catalog, they're not looking to make $600 million. So you have to start to think like if you ever play stocks, right? Everyone's into crypto and stocks all of a sudden. That's gonna be funny next 10 years. And what I mean by that,
they're already talking about that right now because when investors are making that pullback.
Yeah, like this ain't the platform. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it's called capitalism in an art, so we may get into it. But fam, if, like, for instance, if you buy Apple stock, right, and if you bought it at $99 today, if you saw it like you dropped to $99 and you put $300 in, right, you're hoping to make some money from that. And you know, if it bounced back, you probably make maybe $400 or $500, maybe 3 or 4 months down the line, especially at summer, because they have the summer deals, back to school and whatever, this, that, or third, or there'll be a new product that drops. With that being said, if these investors here are looking at spending this much, then what do they see coming down the pipeline to make them go, oh no, we're definitely gonna flip this?
I mean, honestly, the first thing I would do looking at this situation is definitely sync licensing. That's definitely where I'm put my first point of money in with regards to catalogs. Just looking at assets.
Yeah,
One, you're not worried about if it is or if it isn't when you're dealing with when you're dealing with synchronization, as if you were dealing with streaming. When you're dealing with streaming, it's a maybe it does resurge, maybe it doesn't. Synchronization is a guaranteed contract. That's bona fide money.
yeah,
You
but
know what I'm
how?
saying? Depending on
Sorry, but how much are you making from synchronization? Is what I'm
that
curious about.
that depends. That depends on the record you're negotiating. You know what I'm saying? And that just depends on how many times you're gonna run it in. I mean, you figure based on his capabilities to clearly negotiate, even if he ran it in a situation of saying, all right, we play a record into a new movie that just came out on Netflix and we get, let's say, 100,000 for the record to play through the movie. Because even like with what's that movie on Disney, Zootopia. You hear the record with Shakira at least 7 to 8 times throughout the whole film. Like that one song, Try Everything, is literally the epic theme song that's played throughout. So you imagine in a situation like that, how much did she get paid on that with regards to recording, how that contract worked out?
Yeah.
And then if there's a royalty circumstance that they're able to pull into, negotiation based on the movie continuously getting played over the course of years.
So this actually raises two questions that I've been meaning to ask in regards to this. I never got around to it. I might put it in a blog post, but two questions I always ask. One, and let me get it out now that we can circle back to it. One, um, what's the royalty rate of a song in the metaverse? That's going to be interesting.
Yeah,
That's going to be
that's
interesting.
definitely
Second, and we'll get to it. And second is whenever something becomes like the norm, it usually has a ripple effect. So I'm wondering, within 5 years or so, are we gonna see like people that can only have like $10,000 or $100,000 start buying other independent artists' catalog from them because they have access to get a scene? Because I can see an artist who's put out like 3 or 4 or 5 projects, and someone comes in with a check of like, "Yo, I'll buy your entire catalog for thirty thousand
so.
dollars," and then they take it.
I'll be honest with you, I gotta find the site again. I know I have it in my notes, but there is a site out right now where you can do various things like that,
No,
actually investing in.
I know. So I had all right. So true story. This was back in 2000, and when did Nipsey pass? This was the year before Nipsey passed. That was 2018, right?
Sounds about right, yeah.
Yeah. So this was 2017. It was. I had a chance to buy a piece of Nipsey's catalog. I know that site you're talking about. If you get a chance, send it to me again because I lost the URL. But I had a chance to buy into Nipsey's catalog right under 10K.
Yeah, that's
And
it's crazy the
it's
things you
as
can do right
like
now.
beneficial that it would be now, which is sad. But I remember thinking, I'm going to hold off.
And then all of a sudden,
Man. Yeah, and again, I'm not here to capitalize off of other people paying or anything like that. But as someone as one of my favorite artists ever, that would have
right,
been like it's like I might want to pull up the credit card. Like I wish I could go back and do
right,
that and just like, hey, I'll just
at
pay
that
this off.
time.
Yeah, right under 10K because it was music from the marathon, and I think it was yeah, because what happened was when his songs got synced to Ballers, the Rock's Dwayne Johnson's show, and that's what opened
Mm,
up the I guess the buy-in or whatever, because there
mm.
was it had I think it has he hit like certain marks or whatever or has qualified or whatever, but yeah, I had a chance to buy in the catalog and I did. If I could, one I probably want Nipsey, but two I would definitely buy that catalog for sure,
Yeah,
buy
I
into
tell
the
people,
catalog.
right, I tell people all the time, you'd be surprised what's out. It's just a matter of knowing how to search for it. You hear it in movies, you hear it on TV shows all the time.
Yeah,
Ask the right question.
right.
Like a matter of fact, they got that they know the Naomi joint on CW. You know what I'm saying? This most
Yeah, yeah,
recent reference where I saw it, where basically she's in the shop trying to figure out who she is, what's going on, and he's like, "You're not asking the right question." I mean, that is so true when it comes to money. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? When it comes to financial gains, the circumstance becomes, are you asking the right questions? That's no different than when you Google search something. You're like, oh, well, I'm not getting the search results I need. Are you asking the right question? Are you logging this correctly? Are you utilizing the right combination of keywords to present to you what it is you're looking for? You know what I'm saying? Do you even know what question to ask?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because that
Yeah.
always becomes the other circumstance. Because again, going back to blockchain, there are sites out right now that are powered by blockchain that are not super public. They're not your Spotify kind of situations, but they're smaller sites that basically say, hey, you can support an artist by paying X, Y, and Z directly to have access to yada, 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 yada. You know what I'm saying? And these systems are basically direct consumer to artist relationships.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, even in those instances, it's like your patron kind of situations. It's like everybody wanted to go to OnlyFans, but it's like Patreon had been out for years before OnlyFans blew up. You know what I'm saying? But again, artists were like, well, how do I get money? How do I do this? How do I do that? I don't necessarily want to deal with all these third party intermediaries getting to these streaming services. It's like, Patreon been out here for 4 or 5 years getting people together, artists from every genre, you name it, they go through here. How do you not know about this?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But again, it all comes down to asking the right questions. Because if you just Google search it randomly, you're not necessarily going to come up against that site. So, as they say, you don't know what you don't know. You got to realistically research and kind of fall into certain spaces. You got to tumble in the dark, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To find that light. That's even like with Instagram. Most people don't realize Instagram, like I said, this is when I the first time I heard this acronym, it's called product market fit, was when I started researching Instagram years ago. You know what I'm saying? With regards to what they did to get where they are when Facebook sold and when Facebook bought them. And basically the short side of it was the company that they are now was not the product that they were initially doing in the similar package that got them purchased.
Right.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? They were basically in a circumstance to where what they originally had was bottoming out. So they said, all right, wait a minute, this isn't working. We got to reformat this, which henceforth the concept product market fit, identifying if what you have fits the market you're trying to present to. Long story short, they got it right. Henceforth, Instagram, henceforth sold to Facebook.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or should I say now Meta? You know
Well,
what I'm saying?
hold on. So speaking of Meta, let me say this. let me say this, and then I'm gonna open up a rabbit hole for you guys watching on a playback. Hold on. Did you know that there are people you can hire to help set your company up to get millions of dollars in funding? Did you also know in the music business, there are people that are brought in to help an artist blow up and do the same thing? I just want y'all to ask that. You see Theo laughing, right? I just want y'all to, again, like I said, the whole purpose of this podcast, I just want y'all to think about this shit differently. Like, you really out
I'm
here
not gonna lie.
thinking, but yeah.
Hearing you say that, the first thing I think of publicly, it makes me go back to Jeopardy and I say, who is Shark Tank for 500, Alex? Just on the principle of what they do publicly. You know what I'm saying? Again, brings back to the concept of product market fit because you've already established yourself to a certain point. You're looking for funding. This show publicly will provide what you need, provided your pitch makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So you have to come in product. You're establishing them as your market, and you have to fit what they're looking for. You have to make it align to say they want to give you that money. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, there's private companies that do this all the time. That's
Fam,
how you see a lot of these companies blow up.
I think it was like my first episode, maybe my second episode. And I knew I was talking over people's heads. And that was that became a problem for me when I told people, hey, there are companies investing in shell companies that are buying into these
Mm-hmm.
labels. And people just like, hmm? I was like, never mind. Well,
Right.
we'll ease you into that, but fam, there is a deep, dark rabbit hole. Like I need y'all to anyway. All right, so we done
So
with this. We done
here's
with
the
the Bob Dylan stuff.
I'll tell you, bro. This is what you do. Next time you run into an artist, ask them something as simple as this. Yo, who's Universal's parent company? And then that's when we start Google searching.
Well, everyone
You
knows
know,
because Kanye kept saying on Drink Champs. Like, if you didn't watch that episode, there's nothing to talk about.
you know what I'm saying? But that's the trick to it. We keep thinking these labels, oh, these labels this, these labels that. But these labels are no different than any other corporation. They are an enterprise that 9 times out of 10 has some form of a parent company established behind them. People will say Google. People forget Google has a parent company. You just see Google. That's the public face. You know what I'm saying? That's like saying, hey, that's the president. We know that's the president. That's the public face of what? The country. You know what I'm saying? But so happens to be that public face gets changed potentially every 4 to 8 years.
I
You know what I'm saying?
and here's the thing, and then I'm gonna get off it because I'm gonna start going into like this circle. Um, Guys and ladies and gentlemen, this is what we're talking about when we say you have to stop looking at the music business like it's like all you have to do is put out music. If you just like fam, if you're thinking just that, there's like 10 levels to this, and like you're at like 0.001% if you just think it's just the music. You are
Right.
These labels are corporations. So once you understand that, then it doesn't get any. It shouldn't be shocking to hear like, oh, every year 12 like the lowest A&Rs get furloughed or get laid off, or
Mm-hmm.
this division got split up, and it's like, yeah, it's a corporation. The only difference is that the product, or at least you believe the product, is music, which is not. um yeah, that's it. Oh, so yeah, we done with this, man? Like, I feel
Yeah,
like we
man.
okay. All right, hold on, let me take a listen with it. All right, so we got a little bit of time left. I feel like we have to do a real deep dive into the lyrics used in court. So have you guys heard about this? Let me pull this up. Jay-Z lyrics in court. So I don't know if you guys know about this, and this is more like diving into hip hop, because I don't see any pop R&B artists saying anything incriminating about them. You know, getting
Oh,
25
you mean
years of
that
life
dry
for
snitching thing?
and dry snitching, because you know. But yeah, so and you can read this article whenever you guys get a chance. So there was a law that was passed maybe a year or two ago where your song lyrics can be used in a court of law against you. So if you say like,
Mm-hmm.
no, I didn't steal whatever, but it's like this song, went to the bodega and stuck them up and da 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 da, and you talking about stealing, they can use that as evidence against you.
You're admitting to a crime.
You admitted to a crime. Should we dive into this, or should we? Because I feel like that's a real deep dive. Because for me, what it's going to be like, it's going to get into how hip hop is viewed, why there are laws against certain hip hop. Then we got to get to the hip hop Messiah document that the FBI had, or CIA. Then we got to get into the culture. Like, I feel like that's a real deep topic. Like, why this is
I,
even a thing.
I would say you'd have to swim on the surface per the time that we have available in this one. But I mean, if we're going to say why it's a thing, if we consider technically hip hop came up in a criminal element culture, we came if you consider how hip hop started, you know what I'm saying, dealing with the concept of poverty, the stories, the structure, people dealing in the slums, then all of a sudden here comes this thing called gangster rap. You know what I'm saying? Once we shifted to the ideology of people who are out in the streets doing heinous acts, now rapping about it, that just basically gave someone an opportunity to say, you just basically told on yourself.
Yeah.
You openly admitted that you did this crime and then tried to make money off of it. It's no different than what they saw with Al Capone. You couldn't catch Al Capone for murder. Who was talking about Al Capone in a record? But what could you do? Catch Al Capone on tax evasion.
Right.
How? Because you sat there and said, yo, you knocked these people off, took their property, but guess what you're not doing? Paying taxes on the property. We're going to take that from you. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing in this sense. You're sitting here saying you knocked somebody off. We didn't catch you in the crime, but unfortunately, you admitted to the crime. And we now have evidence. You're telling us you did it. So all we got to do is tie what you're saying on this record, trying to make millions of dollars, with the crime itself and make a correlation, and boom, we got you. because you
Yeah.
yourself admitted to the concept. It's literally baffling why we go on these records and say, yeah, I knocked off Jimmy da 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 da
Fam,
da.
I was hold on. You remind me of something. So, so at night, while my wife was giving our son a bath, I sometimes I would have music playing in the background while I watch this. I watch the dishes, clean, wipe the kitchen down, vacuum the floor, this, that, and the third. And sometimes I have music playing, not too loud or whatever, because it's at night. And I was listening to A Ball MJG. Uh, what was that song? Look, let me think.
Don't
Yes, yes.
drop.
He was like,
Yeah,
"Don't make me kill everybody up in here." I'm like, dog, that's you're confessing to mass shooting. That's terrorism. Like, what are we doing,
right.
fam?
You might as well say it's premeditated. Now they just have to put a position of place.
Like,
But see,
fam. Like, well,
the
like
problem
once,
with that
like,
is,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I would have to, we would have to dive into the culture. Like that's sick. You just say, like, oh, fam, I'm about to do a mass shooting if you piss me off.
but see, here's the trick. Here's the reason why you have a situation like Jay Z and Meek trying to block it, because arguably it's a creative license. So it's no different
And
than an author writing in a book about a murder mystery.
and that's another,
You know what I'm saying?
and that's another thing as well. We're going to touch base on this because now that's the other. Again, there's layers. If you have been watching my
Mm-hmm.
live stream, my or video podcast, it's I listen. I
Hey,
have to.
bro, the only difference between the situation, an author can write a murder mystery and you never know that they were actually admitting to a crime simply for the fact that we're saying, hey, is this fiction? Oh, okay, cool, cool.
No, it's not. It's not even that. There has to be okay. We know Jay Z and Meek Mill have been doing this thing where they've been about prison reform, Black
Right.
Lives Matter, civil rights, and everything else, right? Well, I don't know if you want to call it civil rights, but anyway, we have to have a conversation about are we looking at in my mind, I think what we're looking at is I have a feeling Jay is having a meeting with a lot of these
Mm.
artists and he's using that information to push the narrative in a different direction. I really do feel like this man is having like secret rendezvous and conversation. I'm probably saying too much. Secret rendezvous. Jay, if I'm blowing up your spot, my bad. With these artists, cause like the 21 Savage scene, like he was right there. It wasn't even like a thing. Like I feel like he's super tapped in and he's taking on this role. I think he wants to, but I'm also thinking at the same time, like fam, like look at the other artists that are listed here. Like he's leading the chart, but I feel like he's making calls to say, hey, this is what we about to do. Like he's almost
No, no, most
Like the
definitely.
Louis Farrakhan of hip hop. But yeah,
If we being all the way honest, you can look at Jay's energy. This is not the Sean Carter that we came up with when we had reasonable doubt. This
right.
man has evolved 2 stages beyond what we can perceive is supposed to be Jay Z. You know what I'm saying? We
Yeah,
got stuck in the aspect of like right around when we had on the Black album.
yeah,
That's where right there you can see that transition. You're like, oh, wait a minute, this is different. You know what I'm saying? Then you just start going forward. You just start seeing as he's becoming a better person. You know what I'm saying? But I
yeah,
tell people we have to remember their circumstances that they started with does not define who they truly want to be. That's even like when you see Lil Baby first came out, and then you see they got a video of Lil Baby when he pulled up to a basketball game, and you got him in the slim fit jeans, and then they got like the music behind him. He got the bag, looking like an
right.
NBA star. But it's like again, circumstances he came up with is not who he chooses to be. So Jay Z is one person in particular in a prime position to change everything that is hip hop as it is today, especially young brothers basically out here snitching on themselves and indicting themselves on these records and hoping that they don't get caught up. You know what I'm saying? Because the law changes every time you turn around. You know what I'm saying? You turn around, wipe your behind, and oh, there's a new law targeting, you know what I'm saying, the circumstances that are people who are out here telling on themselves. I don't want to say rappers specifically, even though most genres you don't really hear in the same capacity. But the problem is as you stated, these people came out of these situations. So these are their stories to tell. This is their authorship. So you're trying to basically protect their ability to tell this
No,
story, their
no,
right to
no.
do such.
Because the mainstream will have you see this. I'm
But
trying
that's
to.
but that's what I'm saying.
No, I'm
They're
trying to skip.
trying to
I'm trying to
protect
save
us.
this for like another episode. But
I dig it. I dig it.
yeah. Shout out to whoever just liked the episode. Appreciate that. All right, let's get it. Let's get into one more theme. Let's keep it light. Young inmate bro code. Let's get into young inmate bro code because I know a couple of you guys on Twitter hit me up saying that you want me to dive deep into why hustlers are outperforming the talented artists. Again, I want yeah. Like that's gonna be a whole entire episode on that.
Yeah.
I can, cause trust me, I can probably freestyle that and I can give you another hour on that. But yeah, so let's see. Can I find the video? Cause you sent it to me on Instagram, right?
Yeah.
See if I can find it on Instagram. See I can see all my business. Let's see.
What they be saying, man? Don't get yourself caught up.
Ain't fam, ain't nothing in here. If you see yourself, he's in it. Let's see. Yeah. Let's see. I think the sound's gonna come through. If not, my bad, y'all. But let's see.
Be like, oh, you gotta have your day ones all the time. All right, well, what my day ones doing too? How they handling it too? You know what I mean? Like, you gotta be fair with this shit. Everybody talk all that bro code, all this. You always gotta take care of your peoples and all that. Nah, bro, we gotta take care of each other. If you ain't helping me, I ain't helping you.
Because when the bill comes.
Exactly. Who gonna pay it?
Right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I don't care.
All right. So that's pretty straight. So let's end with this one. Because I feel like so this even happens in the pop world. Cause and I will confess I'm fairly new to the pop world in the sense of working with different artists in there, but it's been a pretty rewarding thing. So shout out to all the pop artists that allow me to work on their stuff. Some stuff is coming out, some stuff is not. Even if it didn't, like, just thank you guys. Me personally, I've had some really fun experiences working with pop artists. So thank you. So with that being said, yeah, man, this is common. In regards to everyone wants to build a team, and what people don't understand is one of the prerequisites for building a team, a sufficient team, is it's not everyone has to have a role. It just are people even good at that role. So, for instance, if my homeboy is really good at, getting food for us when we're in the studio, that does not mean he should be my tax accountant. It just means he's really good at grabbing food. He can be a runner, he can be a concierge, but I'm not making him my manager just because that's my man's. And that's where a lot of people get caught up, is that you can't take, what's the saying, you can't put a round peg in a square, whatever that saying is. So what Young and May is super on point, but we see it all the time. Like, me and such and such fell out. It's like, what made you think this person would make a great manager or lawyer or even security just because, like, you have friends? There's a difference between, your friend being good at NBA 2K doesn't mean, like, all of a sudden he should be your agent. Like, I don't know. But yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, it's as simple as this. It's a matter of business versus friendship. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, even Fat Joe was talking about this. There's a video circulating with a similar situation. Not him saying bro code specifically, but in short, I'm going to paraphrase this. He basically said, we were out of the country. You know what I'm saying? I flew everybody out. And he's like, you know what? I'm tired of this. I'm going to get this figured out. Went downstairs. He called everybody in. And he's like, yo, listen, I ain't got it no more. And he's like, I had it, but I just wanted to kind of see exactly how they respond. He said, in short, only 6 people out of 50 people that he flew out said, yo, I'll ride with you even if you broke to this day. You know what I'm saying? And it basically just goes to show behaviorally, you can bring people into a position and people are there for you as long as you are in position taking care of their needs. But at the end of the day, what are they doing for you to resolve that aspect of saying, yo, it's just not a take relationship. I'm giving to you as much as I'm taking. I'm working for you in that instance. But that's the other problem is artists will have this, I need a manager mentality. And it's like going to a regular job.
Annoying.
You need somebody to micromanage you instead of you being the boss, and your manager is literally just managing the secondary expectations that you have, the things that need to be assessed. But you are the leader of that camp. So everybody under you is handling.
Let me jump in. Let me make a hot take that I'm going to post on Instagram that's going to piss people off on purpose. So this is me. This is my Bill Maher moment for 2022. Hey, yo, artists. And I say this with love. If you're not bringing in $2,000 a month, you don't need to be looking for a manager. The end. Do you feel some type of way about that? I respect it. But you may want to ask, why do you feel some type of way about that? That's it. I'll let you figure it out. But yeah, go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, that's the honest truth. Because it's like, at the end of the day, your manager also works for you circumstantially, as in what you make, they're also needing to get a percentage of that. People misunderstand, thinking, oh, well, this manager's supposed to put in all the blood, the sweat, the tears. They're supposed to do everything for you. It's like, no. You looking at this like these people are general managers at your job. That's not what this is. This is a artist manager. This is your business manager. This is a personal manager. You know what I'm saying? This is your booking manager. It's like you have all these different individuals. Yeah, when you on an indie level, you may have someone who puts on all these hats. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get you to certain spaces where you financially are available to hire all these other individuals who can circumstantially take care of it better than what you're able to do right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like, even with the people under you, with your homeboys need a job. Like you said, if your man can go out and he know how to take care of that food, he know how to make sure them orders is right, make that a job. Get that man an hourly wage, a salary, something. It may seem like it's petty. Oh, well, you just always want me going out to get the food. But at the end of the day, you're basically saying, yo, I'm giving you a taxable income, so I know you're here for a reason.
Or you can do what LeBron did with his team. He sent them off to college. Like he sent Mav Carter off to college to learn how to do what he's doing now, so he'd be part of his team. Mm-hmm. But that takes vision and foresight to see that, and it sort of, okay. Let me get into like it's my soapbox. No, let me get into the pulpit. Forget the soapbox. Let me get into my pulpit, and let me talk to people. 9 times out of 10, and this is to every producer, artist, whomever's watching this. I don't care if you're a soccer mom, because apparently that's part of my demographic too. That's always so weird. Did that show you that part of my data, my analytics for the past 3 years? It's like 40-year-old women. It's like 40 to 50-year-old white women. Like dive into my content.
You gotta ask yourselves.
I'm just like, what?
How old are they kids?
No, fam. Like one of my, we'll say support. I won't call her fan, but one of my supporters, her son plays for the Raiders, and she's not the only one. It's just like, and I'm just like, how are y'all finding my content entertaining? What is that saying about me? But I love y'all. Appreciate the likes. Much love.
Hey, listen. Financially speaking, they're where the money are, so that's a blessing.
Yo, I'm not. Never mind. I said it offline. But listen. No, what was I saying? Oh yeah. So in regards to the pulpit, what I want you to understand is 9 times out of 10, you probably already have a vision. You're just not confident in that vision, or you're not confident you yourself can execute that vision. You already have it. Like you're like, oh, I can do that and da. You just don't know how to put the pieces together. How I was able to build my company, and I guess you want to say my brand or whatever else, is I just kept asking questions until I found the answer. And then when I did, I implemented. Sometimes I knocked out the part. Sometimes I made mistakes. Sometimes I made some really bad mistakes. We're just like, well, damn, there goes $1K, $2K down the drain. Okay, cool. I guess I gotta go refigure this out. Like I've done that.
Right.
And I mean to say that to everyone who's watching this is you have to have, in regards to like the foresight and the vision, like you already have it. You just need to find the pieces. And what I want you to do is just slow down just a little bit. Just slow down and assess. It's not about finding the piece. You can find a manager anywhere. You can find a lawyer anywhere. You can find an accountant anywhere. You can find a producer anywhere. But what about finding the producer? About finding the manager? So many people. So the reason why it's so easy for an artist nowadays, and I'm not to come down on artists, just exclude this, specifically, but the reason why it's so easy for artists to get scammed so much is that there's this mindset that, oh, if I just get this person to do this, and it's taken care of, and just like I put in my blog post, I think it was yesterday or last night, because I had to post one tonight. I said, how can you say Russ, Currency, Freddie Gibbs, Nipsey Hussle, all these other people are your favorite artists in regards to rappers, and then turn around and say you want to sign to a label? That makes no sense to me. The content that they're putting out, 75% of the content is about them being independent. So I never understood that. So in relation to what Young and May is saying, fam, and I'll get off it. Fam, like your homegirl, your best friend, your PE coach, y'all may have a great relationship and they may really believe in you, but that doesn't mean that they're meant to be in a position in your career. They can right. be great supporters from the others, from the sideline. It doesn't mean they need to be on the field with you. And I would love to see artists to stop. I did a survey. I said, how many of you guys have randomly had an artist ask you to be their manager? Fam, I had engineers say, yeah. Like, why would you want the engineer to be your manager? He has to spend 10 to 12 hours working your records. You want him to do that and go how's that going to work?
Right.
But anyway, that's it. I'm done. I don't want to keep harping on artists so much, but yeah.
No, you good, man. I say this, I know we got to hit this wrap up, but answering your question with regards to the whole, if Nipsey Hussle is Currency is my favorite rapper, but I want to sign to a label, I'll be all the way honest with you. I hear artists tell me all the time this one simple thing. Man, all these drug dealers and gangsters y'all be talking about who be blowing up, they got money from the street. So, you know what I'm saying? They can make their own situation. I look at them and I say, so what's the difference between you and them? They grew up in a circumstance that they couldn't control, so they figured out how to get it so they could survive. You grew up in a moderately decent situation and have an opportunity to access this thing called higher education that gives you the ability to gain a skill set to make money to provide for the career you want.
I'm coming.
You know what I'm saying?
All right, last thing, and I'm done. And you got the floor, okay?
You good,
fam? I'm going to get. Let me turn this out. I'm going to get into this whole hustler thing, but let me say this. Let me tell y'all something. Yes, to drug dealers, hustlers, trappers, scammers, Instagram models, whatever, they have access to capital. Yes, you're right. But guess what? You have a job. Your job is your fundraising. You can take money from your job, from your paycheck, and put it into your career. You would be surprised. This is how I know a lot of y'all. So I know a lot of y'all really working in the streets. Fam, it's a lot of drug dealers out here only making $30,000-$35,000 a year. Like, everyone is not Meech.
Right.
Like, you gotta do the simple math. If a crew, if a squad, if a empire, whatever, right? If they got, okay, I'm just putting numbers out there. If they have, let's say they got 50 people on the street, and then let's say they got 15 runners, right? Okay, all 50 people probably bringing in money, but how much is their cut? And yeah, they may have the jury and this, that, and the third, but fam, have you ever went to one of their apartments and he was like, oh, it's like, yeah, they ain't really making as much. Anyway, I can't confirm nor deny that's true, but everyone is not making that much. Like, it's no, for like someone needs to say it. Like, it's not a lot of it's not a lot of drug dealers making like $150,000 a day. It's not a lot. Like, that's the top of the top of the top. It's a lot of runners who, like, it's like, you could have went and worked at McDonald's, but anyway.
Right. The upper echelon versus
that's going to get me killed in the comments. I can't wait. Run my SEO up.
Listen, truth is truth. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, I tell people, if you sold weed for years and years and years and didn't get caught, hey man, listen, it's time for you to move to a legal state, because you really got the move. You can really make it happen now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's literally just, I say this before I roll, it's literally understanding investing. I tell people, I say college isn't for everybody. But if you decide you want to do music, I said, as a rapper, why don't you figure out other skill sets? And I don't say this, I say to drop on nobody. I say this with love. But as a rapper, why don't you utilize other skill sets that correlate to the industry that will allow you to make money? If you're a rapper, but you know how to songwrite pop music, or for singers, okay, start putting yourself in camps. Start figuring out how you can make things work with regards to a publishing agency. You know what I'm saying? So now you're getting publishing deals as opposed to traditional record deals. In that same sense, you're making money. Now you can funnel it to your career, because you have artists like Sia who had albums for years, who didn't blow up until darn near 15 years into her career. You know what I'm saying? But wrote some of the hottest records of the decade. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Actually, last 2 decades. You know what I'm saying? It's like people just don't understand. The people you see blow up aren't necessarily the people who just sat in their bedroom and kept recording for themselves. A lot of these cats been in the game for years, and we have to position ourselves financially for that long journey. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't, you're not going to win the way you think you're going to win.
We'll get into that in the next episode. Like I said, we'll say that for the next episode, man. But I definitely appreciate it. So we're gonna wrap up. What can I say to wrap this up? Yeah, man, I definitely appreciate. This was a really good episode. I think for the next one, what I'll do is I'll do like some music recommendations, because I'm always listening to new indie artists. Some recommendations. Any music we should check out, Theo, before we head out?
Actually, I gotta run up on my joint real quick, because there's one that just populated on Instagram. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
Yeah, why he's doing that? Like, subscribe if you haven't already. And artists, I promise you, I'm not trying to come out like the tough love dude. That ain't me. You do what's best for you. It's just that, yeah, guys, I talk to at least 20 to 50 of y'all a day. So
actually, I got 3 records for you. One is one that I bet I got 2 for you. One's from a lock-in from the market. I'm a guy, Mark De Niro.
Mark De Niro.
Am I spelling right? Called Don't Do That.
Don't Do That.
Yeah, man. No.
No.
You got Robert De Niro.
Yeah, Mark De Niro.
No, it's Marc, not K.
Oh, all right. Let's see. Don't Do That drops.
There it is. Let's see.
It's probably not
That's
gonna
the
play.
Facebook joint.
What you say?
The videos
Jets is coming through.
Let me grab get it on YouTube.
What you say?
Yo, what's good, man? It's your boy Mark De Niro.
Oh man, all right. Look, it ain't dropped. All right. Anyway, y'all check out Mark De Niro. Don't do that. I'm not.
No, it's out now. Nah, it's out now. I got you. I'm about to send it to you right now.
Is it on YouTube?
That joint. Yeah, I'm about to send it to you. And T-5.
Is this it right here?
That's the record. Yeah.
All right. Cool. I'm already logged in.
Don't even worry about it. I just sent you the video.
Man, God dog it. Hold on, y'all. As we give this guy a free promo that he didn't pay for, but I guess that's what makes this authentic, right? You gotta do it for free. What you say?
Oh, I'm telling you, this joint goes, bro.
If y'all can't hear it, I'm sorry, man. But
what you say? No, don't do that, nigga. Don't do that, nigga. What you say? No, don't do that, nigga. Don't do that, nigga. What you say? No, don't do that, nigga. Don't do that, nigga. What you say? No, don't do that, nigga. You can say what you want, you can do what you want, but don't do that, nigga. You can say what you want, you can do what you want, but don't do that, nigga. What you say? No, don't do that, nigga. Don't do that, nigga. What you say? No, don't do that, nigga. This is a caution, this is a warning, way too important, should be appalling. This ain't the norm, you industry niggas too busy conforming. I put the business and did it accordingly. I swear this shit is way more than me. Don't worry if niggas applauding me. Don't do that, nigga. What you say? And socially niggas supporting, giving rewards to put on the board. And I put way more than niggas afford, a budget for groceries. I'm driven to make me $1 million and this shit depending on it like it's supposed to be. Don't listen to you niggas spitting because you ain't living the way you this close to me. I'm sick of you niggas approaching me. I'm not coaching you, you opposing me. You not close to me, you not over me. You not nothing to me, you not. I don't do this shit for no trophy. Niggas is mostly looking for clout, but can't find they solely. No, I'm not easy to fuck with an okie. I'm a bear, this shit, but no yogi. I got my eye on you niggas, you owe me. Watching you closely, I ain't be worrying, you niggas is smoky. Know when it's over, nigga, it's over. I'm in the grip with you niggas is open. You and my sons, you came from the ovaries. But from my testicles, that's a technical block from the goalie, nigga. Don't do that, nigga. What you say? No, don't do that, nigga. What you say? No, don't do that, nigga. What you say? No, don't do that, nigga. You can say what you want, you can do what you want, but don't do that, nigga. You can say what you want, you can do what you want, but don't do that, nigga. What you say? No, don't do that, nigga. No, don't do that, nigga.
You can say what you want, you can do what you want. I can say but I don't, cause the grave is the only thing promised to niggas. I'm honest with niggas, I came in the game and paid homage to niggas. Even though I was the hottest of niggas, I got them scared to acknowledge a nigga. All I wanted to do was spit private with niggas. We spinning blues, Sonic the niggas. We didn't do what y'all did, resume spotless, I'm super solid. Used to have gas and a cool but hybrid. Shit brand new, it say ooh. When you view the mileage, I know my talent could move a mountain. Sleep on the floor, he could use a pallet. But they make lists and they say the look Timmy is great, but he don't got no hits we can play. Boy, I make hits every day, I don't give them away. And know at the end of the day, I'ma always do it my way. I don't do what they do cause I ain't, they don't do what I do cause they can't. Fuck a nigga think, watch your fucking back. Gotta watch your front and back. G.I. Joe came with a gun attached. My side hoe hate, I'm so unattached. My side hoe hate, I'm not coming back. Hydroplane used to water whip and chop down trees like a lumberjack. I sometimes think about doubling back. Nah, don't do that, nigga. Take.
No, don't do that, nigga. No, don't do that, nigga. What you say? No, don't do that, nigga. What you say? No, don't do that, nigga. You can say what you want, you can do what you want, but don't do that, nigga. You can say what you want, you can do what you want, but don't do that, nigga. What you say? No, don't do that, nigga. No, don't do that, nigga.
They couldn't find another shot. Shout out to Louisville, man. I've been a big, huge champion for Kentucky for I don't know how long, man. Blame Theo. All right, so my my video I'm only gonna play half of it because I'm in radio mode, so I can't listen to songs more than 2 minutes. But I'm gonna play this Chrome Lips. I believe my boy Obi produced a video. I directed a video. Hold on, let's see. Yeah, I think he did the shots. But yeah, this Ellie Dollar featuring Freddie Gibbs, Chrome Lips. Album out now, E30.
No things, upgrades, that's what it come with. Only moving if a dollar involved. And got some money with niggas I ain't fuck with at all. The picture bigger, can't see it, your perspective is small. Another gear, I've been shifting up and I never stop. Drop top, four in the muscle, see I be coming round. Black hot to stay on the hustle, I'm barely coming round. Always hear them niggas got issues, but they ain't never found. Shows the other side of the planet, you never left the town. I might just crack me a bottle, pull up and sip that. I ain't about to wait on no karma, I get my get back. Got a whole bunch of endeavors, I'm just gon' flip rap. Miss me when you running that gossip, ain't with the chit chat. You getting paid and I ain't talking dudes. Always want comment on the path, but couldn't walk my shoes. If it been heavy on your mind, it ain't no thought to lose. Shit, I'm just manifesting mine while this beam a cruise. Nigga, gold chains and champagne, ain't no dumb shit. New thing with upgrades, that's what it come with. Had the everything that I promised that I was gon' get. Rolling something clean, she see herself in the Chrome Lips. Gold chains and champagne, ain't no dumb shit. New thing with upgrades, that's what it come with. Had the everything that I promised that I was gon' get. Rolling something clean, she see herself in the Chrome Lips. I barely sleep, a nigga mind running. Was out here stressing when my time coming.
I do appreciate y'all chiming in, coming in, man. Theo, it was a pleasure. Really good episode, man. This is episode 20. Capitalism and art. We did it. We're not some trash podcast I got going on here, man. We actually did 20 episodes. 2022 is gonna be a good year. Stay safe out there. Put good energy out there, and always think in negotiations what can you provide for the other party before what you can provide for yourself. We out.